August the 5th, 2024. Guys, just a quick update. Storms ashore, I know that, but listen, there's still a lot of people without power, and the storm may be about to get back offshore and re-strengthen. Right now, up here at Hilton Head Beach Island, you guys in that area know where that's at, and down close, this is the strongest winds right here, but they're starting to throw in tornado watches, and watches in this area, thunderstorm warnings. The green lines are flash flood watches all through this area. A lot of moistures on the outside of this wrapping around like that. We're also seeing these flash flood warnings and watches in this area right there. But again, Florida Georgia line, this is St. Augustine. You guys are getting your winds now out of the west. You come up a little further into Georgia, and you're getting winds out of the east. Come over here in Valdosta, you're getting your winds out of the north. That's how these things work, but it's cooling the ocean. Let's move up just a stage on this radar imaging. Sliding up the coast a little bit, guys, you can see Charleston right here. Here's Georgetown. Up here, you're getting into North Carolina. But this line, again, is the strongest. It's coming back through Waycross. Guys, you're going to have some of this high wind coming through you. Then you're going to see a calm as the eye comes over you. Don't let that fool you, because your winds are going to change, and it's going to be pretty strong on you now. But this is what I said a couple of days ago. The storm first started coming up into the Gulf of Mexico with that trail we saw trailing behind it, that they always, when they come in, they'll be followed by these tornadoes. Now, guys, the bad thing about this one compared to the other ones, most of them would come in and be out in a day or so. This thing's going to linger in your area until Friday. This is just Monday. You're talking about maybe a foot plus of rain in some of those areas, maybe up to 24 inches. Just depends on where it goes in this spaghetti model that they're showing. But again, it's a delay in timing from right now on Monday. Some of the same places are still going to be getting wet Friday, and then it going out into Saturday. It's an amazing storm. We needed the rain. I don't want to see anybody's crops and homes, cars washed away though, but you have to deal with that. Just you're on the coast there. Again, you're looking right here, Hilton Head Island, Charleston. You've been through these before. There's things that will be lost if you do not prepare. Now, guys, this is looking at the entire U.S. You can see where our storm is here, but look at the cloud cover here, guys. You've got tornado warnings and watches up there. We'll take a look at that local radar, too. But, guys, this storm is huge. You're still pulling in a lot of tail in on the end of it, but look at what it's throwing out. If this had come into Houston or something, guys, all of this moisture would be covering the Appalachian chain through here. But let's take a look up here. But, guys, this is amazing. Before we move, though, let's look at the infrared just for a moment. This gives you an idea of where your storms are, where they're going to be as this thing populates. This is new software for me. I've used the other for 12 years, and it's really kind of gotten obsolete, so I'm changing. Everything is not quite as smooth as I'd like it, but give me a few days and it will be just like that. Anyway, here's your moisture around the center. But look down in Florida, guys. I said this. As this thing gets into Georgia, you're still going to be getting it down here. But look right. Let's bring it to the end. I'm going to stop it right there. Look right here. That's going to be the problem. And that's the last frame as we're going into this. I was looking up into Minneapolis. This is St. Cloud. But down here, further south, this is Rochester right here. This is I-60, guys. You got 2 tornado warnings, and they're continuing with this sweep. I think we've got some cold air mixing, with some of the warmer air just a little further south. Again, let me pull this back a little. Rochester, you got some rain and cross Albert Lee. You guys in this area, pay attention to it. I'll pull it up a little further if this will let me do it. Albert Lee. That's about as close as this map's going to bring it into me. But this right here, guys, is Fabalt, and then Waterville, Morristown. So anyway, These tornadoes are just as dangerous here as they are down coming into Georgia right now. So all you guys in this area, make sure you got your weather alerts on, batteries charged, be prepared for some power losses. If you're in a mobile home, seek shelter somewhere else. Go back to this, bring it very close up, guys. Florida-Georgia line here, the blue line. Look where the center's at right now. This is live as of 6:35 p.m. Central Time. Starting to get dark to the right. You'll see it change. I'm going to play this thing through. Look how fast it's moving. Even though it's moving at that speed, it's going to come offshore for maybe 2 days and then come back into North Carolina, somewhere in that area. But notice another thing. Look at the height of these storm clouds here. They're catching a shadow on the backside because the sun is setting over here. Watch again. Check that out. That's going to be the problem. That's what we're showing you coming into that upper band. Let's go into the infrared for a moment on this close-up. Again, here's your eye, or center of the storm. Look how fast it's moving. So, and usually that's the normal thing. They're up and they're out of here. But with the high pressure out here, as strong as it is in the Atlantic, they're thinking it's going to be pushed back in. I'm going to go with that until we can see a little bit of difference on it. Again, I'm just changing it live. I'm trying to get used to the software. Sorry. But anyway, look at this right out here. That's above what we're seeing, and that's going to be going up into North Carolina, into Virginia before it's all said and done. In Florida, look at this. You think you're out of the gun, South Florida, and you still have a little bit to go through. Central Florida here too. Panhandle, you're still kind of rocking and rolling with high winds here. Not as much storms, and that's good, but you're still looking at incredible rainfall between yesterday and Friday. Now, what a difference a day makes in the warnings. We were having hurricane warnings and everything here. Still got wind pulling in, guys. I'm not downplaying that, but right now you got tropical storm warnings through here. Tropical storm watches north of Charleston in the yellow. So there's still a lot of things going on here in this area. Let me show you something else. This is the 5 p.m. advisory. That's a couple hours old. 50 mile per hour winds. That's sustained winds moving northeast at 6 miles per hour. There is part of the problem. The thing was traveling fast through the Caribbean and through the Gulf, but now on land, everything's grinding down. 6 miles per hour, you can walk that fast, I guess. So it may take, again, look at this. Friday, it's up here into Raleigh, in the Raleigh area, or into North Carolina, but it's a tropical storm Thursday at 2 p.m., going back in time, Thursday, 2 a.m., all the way back till now. And all I can say about this at 50 mile per hour winds in this area, 60 mile per hour winds here, is that this could easily return to being a Cat 1. Now, from the reports that I saw, just so that we can be honest about all of this, is that, and you saw me read the print-offs from the National Hurricane Center showing the wind speed coming in ashore last night would be a Cat 2 with Cat 3 gust. So I want to address that a little bit. Now, if they were wrong, they were wrong. All I can do is read from that data. But we did see something happen when Hurricane Michael come in. And I've had a lot of people call me or text me and comment on the channel that I warned about an early right turn during Michael. And a lot of people evacuated because of that warning. And they came back and they didn't even have a house or anything left. So, at that time during Michael, I just want to say this, they came in and said it was a Cat 4. We were looking at it. It was Cat 5 speed. Then it was maybe 6 months, maybe a year later, the people came in there and looked at it, I guess from FEMA and the insurance companies, and looked at the damage and declared it a Cat 5. I'm not saying they will do this on here, but I have seen it before. I'm not saying it came in as a Cat 2. All I can give you is the data. And what that will do, unless it changes, and they didn't give a further update on it, is to prepare you for the worst. That means if you got up and moved because of their numbers, then our Father in heaven had a hand in that. Because there's a lot of flooding A lot of power outages there. And by the way, let's look at the current as of 6:41 p.m. Central, 7:41 Eastern, the current power outages. Many of you have used this tool, but guys, if you haven't, just simply type in poweroutage.us. It's very valuable during this type of season, whether it's really year round. You could have a snowstorm, you could have tornadoes. Again, Florida has cut this down to almost half. Still, there's 160,663 meters out. That's not saying how many people live in a house, okay? You may have one, you may have five, you may have more. Anyway, there's 160,630 or 63 residences. Anyway, Florida, you've got a 160,63. Now it's moving into Georgia, 29,589. Up here where we have our tornadoes that come through in Nebraska, you have 17,537. Minnesota, 21,132. Pennsylvania, you've got 11,955. Coming up into New York, 10,524. Now, guys, you can break this down. We're going to come right in here into Georgia for a moment. Click on that map, and it'll break it down into the counties. And that's kind of really neat because sometimes you need to be very specific about this stuff. Here in Eccles County, 661. It's going to add up, though. 527, Lowndes, Brooks County, 940, Thomas, 1668. And again, here, Cook County, you've got one of the higher ones at 1,087. You can see it's going to be moving up the coast. Effingham County, you've got 3,972. And look, all of this is going to increase. But this is a very valuable tool, guys. You can look, and if you have friends or family in one of these counties with this much outage, you owe it to them to call them and check on their well-being. I'm going to check out now, guys. Again, the storm, I will update it in the morning because I think it's going to be moving out. We don't know how far it's going to strengthen. But I got to say this. Our stock markets worldwide have crashed. The Japanese dollar is almost going out. Everything's collapsing. But you know, one of the stocks that came up just a little bit or kind of stayed balanced was because they bought everything that was falling. And I wonder if that had something to do with it to set it up to have a big buyer step in and buy it all. It was BlackRock. Trillions were lost. They let that fall. They let the stock value fall, or ever how it fell. And BlackRock came in and picked a lot of it up. What does that mean? They have more and more control than they did yesterday. A lot more, trillions of dollars more. There'll be an update on that later, guys. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.